Another one. Oh, let me turn this off. Okay. What was it again? Oh yeah. The usual yume. That's something I want to talk about. I just watched the video. I was doing my laundry. And I was watching a video. By the way, I have like an hour to make the stream, because then I'll have to hang my clothes and do other stuff. But I was watching a video while I was hanging my clothes, and it was about, I don't know, it was just some random girl in her bed recording like a video, like a 5-minute video. And it was like her saying that the title of the video was I love watching men cry. I have a dry throat, so I can't really talk correctly. To which I thought, I mean, even just seeing this, I kinda did not feel like watching this video. I thought it was just gonna be yet another one of these performative, I hate this word, it's been overused, this I wouldn't say misandrist, because even the word misandrist, it's like a way to using the word misandrist is like, obviously by definition, it's like the hatred of men coming from women, but I feel like something like a word like misogyny doesn't hold the same weight as misandry, since there's like actual historical context, just like historical and cultural contexts, just like racism from white people towards black people, you know. So it doesn't hold the same weight, you know. But that being said, when I was it gave off a vibe of like those quote unquote feminist girls who do nothing but like those girls who do this decentralized men kind of thing by only talking about men and how they decentralize themselves from them, but they just wind up talking about them all the time and everything that they do. And that's like the most unproductive thing ever you could do as a feminist, especially if you do nothing but hate. I see it's not even like you're hating the system, you're like hating individual men. Oh, my timer's alright. But it's just unproductive. It's warranted and I get it, but it's unproductive. and that's not to diminish, of course, the experiences of women that got like harassed or assaulted or even worse by men, but I mean, obviously, it's not to diminish that, and at the same time, there's better ways to 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 tackle these kinds of there are better ways to tackle these kinds of topics, but what I want to say again. Yeah, so I was watching this video, okay, and it ended up being not the kind of video that just bashes the other gender, like the kind of rage rate that I keep seeing on my reels, for example. But it was rather in the sense where she liked seeing, like she genuinely liked it as if it was like something incredible or something. What she said is that she said like seeing a man cry in public is like seeing a unicorn. It's like, yeah, it's like seeing a unicorn in the wild or something like that. And she went on to say that stuff like the best art that is made is when men cry. So she listed like artists like Radiohead and all these other white rock bands that I'm not very familiar with, from being honest. But it's like what do I even say about this? It's no, I'm trying to think of what else she said, but it's just that what else did she say? Yeah, she said stuff like, I don't know, like there was stuff where she was like half joking, let's say, such as if I don't know, like men's tears were a drug, she would get hammered or something like that, which you could say is kind of a funny sentence, but I'll get to the but I think she said something else. I'm not sure anymore, but I'm not sure if you talked about things concerning how the public sees it. I mean, she did grasp the idea that we've been like the male gender. Do you say that? Like being identifying as a man puts you into this expectation of being a certain kind of way. And in the case of crying, she said that I've been here. I don't want to go there. She said that men usually are very easy. Like, it seems pretty positive what she said, but it seems like it's easy for us to lie and whatnot. When it comes to other emotions like getting angry or being happy or something like that, but for crying it's like the rawest thing ever, which is true. It is true, but yeah, I mean that's just the kind of stuff she glossed over. But the thing is, when I was listening to that, it was like initially there was something about it that made me uncomfortable. Like there was really something about it that made me think like, yeah, there is something weird about this, or something like, I wouldn't say fully disingenuous, but not patronizing, but there was something. I'm not sure. It's so hard to describe this. It's like, wow, this is really hard to explain or to compare to something. It's not to say like, it's like looking at a man and seeing him cry. The way she described it and the way she just talked about this, I guess, phenomenon, it was like as if she saw us as like dogs or something. Wouldn't say as lesser, but as something that is just like I'm not sure how to explain this, but there was one comment that I agreed with that I saw in the comment section that said that like he was just describing the way he felt. So he said like, yeah, the girl is surprised that men rarely cry, but 10 seconds later admits that it was like a spectacle. It's like a spectacle for her to see a man cry. And I know what he means, but I have such a hard time explaining what that implies, you know, what that means exactly. It's like, it's as if you see something exotic about this. And frankly, it is not something that you see very often, but to behave this way instead of behaving like how you would treat your, I don't know, like your girlfriends, when it comes to them crying. It's like when you see a man crying, you suddenly have to act like completely differently, and I find that very bizarre. I find that very weird. Then the other comments, like if male tears were a drug and blah blah. I don't know. Thing is, maybe I'm asking for too much. The thing is, actually no, I'm not actually. I just find it bizarre. I think I have a right to find it bizarre, right? What the hell? Okay. I think I have a right to think that it's bizarre. Thing is, we live in a world where when you are a man and you cry in front of somebody, you have a fairly high chance to get, I guess, your emotions dismissed instead of acknowledged. What is this, Pokemon? I always suck at these. Yeah, you have a higher chance of getting your emotions dismissed simply because you cried and you happen to have a penis. What can I say? Like, this is just it's just bizarre, because you have it's like this thing where it's even like, let me take racism for example, okay? So there's this thing that people say that which is this line between liberal and like conservative, like racism coming from liberal people, and hold on. Okay, so that's the thing that people say, where you have racism coming from conservative people, and also acknowledging racism that comes from liberal people. So you have this thing where you know how racist conservative people can be. They see a black person, immediately hate crime them and like talk shit and just throw a bunch of slurs, like the classic kind of racism that you see, or systemically when people don't get the same opportunities as other people, even though they give off the same performance, if not even a better performance at the job, but get like twice as less than their white counterparts. I'm talking about black people being the disadvantaged ones. So you have this, then you have the liberal kind, which is kinda in a way where, based on their worldview, you have to adhere to it. And it's hard to explain, but it's essentially when you disagree with when you disagree with a liberal person when it comes to aspects that don't necessarily that have not necessarily hurt you, but they deem is horrible, that has had happened to you. It's like they take offense over the fact that you didn't react the way they expected for you to react. And also, it's just like, and there's something also very patronizing, where you have like specific experience that they deem as overly offensive. Well, no, they have you had an experience that you didn't necessarily take to heart or see as racist, but they recognize it as racist because of the things that they have learned about the life of a certain race. It's not easy to explain, but it's mostly just patronizing and assuming things about another race. Like I remember hearing this. I don't know. There was like something going viral, and it was about a news outlet that it was a liberal news outlet, and there was this, I don't know, this middle-aged white woman talking about somehow the black folks in New York, they can't work a computer because they are so poor and don't know how to, I don't know, navigate the world because of how they are poorly educated in their areas. And regarding that is a true thing. Like there's like a lack of education there's a lack of resources when it comes to education. I have no idea where to go, by the way. There's a lack of education, the lack of resources being funded into education, which is why there are statistics that I don't have the statistics, so I'm being honest, but there are like essentially papers that show that there are like areas in the United States where the education is the education and the intelligence, whatever, are declining. But it just gets to a point where you can tell that a certain person has never actually talked to this kind of demographic and just assumes stuff. And the thing is, they try to be so helpful that they just end up being racist. And it's like, what? It's like they say these things. They have learned these things, and they have completely accepted that these things are the way they are, which are completely demeaning. And then once they actually get into an interaction with a black person and they throw out these things, it's like Miss Morello from Everybody Hates Chris. Like they throw out some wild stuff only pertaining to your race. It won't even see you as a human being, only pertaining to your visual identity. And then they say something, and you just think, like, you just tell them, okay, but why did you assume that this has never happened to me, or this actually didn't necessarily offend me, or this is not the way you think I experience life? Why would you think that? Is it because I'm black? And boom, they freeze, or either they freeze or they say, no, I'm not like that. Or they actually fight back. They actually double down and think that it's normal to act this way. And that's kind of, this was a sidetrack, but this is what I feel. This is pretty much what I felt when I heard that. What the? Okay. This is essentially what I kind of felt when I was watching that video of that girl talking about those many tears. And obviously it is a serious matter, but obviously it's not as serious as something like racism, of course. But using kind of the same logic is the only way I can explain it correctly. Because there's nothing to it. It's just weird. It just comes off as weird. It's like emotional tokenism. Like, what is this? Well, not exactly that, but it's looking at us like a spectacle. So it's strange because we're all already living in a world where crying as a man is being dismissed, universally dismissed. And then on the flip side, you have those who could accept it, but only see it as like their pleasure, see it as their pleasure. I find it weird. Maybe she didn't necessarily see it as such, but that's certainly how it feels like. Yeah, like I don't think that that girl is like is necessarily like a bad person or something, but it is just one hell of a way to describe feeling empathy for another person. And I have this sort of philosophy where I treat people the way I treat people, no matter what or who they are. No matter what their appearance or something. God damn it, have I been there? I don't know, but yeah, I have this philosophy where I just want to, on a baseline, when I don't, like, let's say I have like 5 people, they all have like different identities, they have all like 5 different kinds of identities, externally speaking, like one is a man, one is a woman, one is like, I don't know, like tall or some shit, one is shorter, and I feel like, okay, I feel like, how do I say this? There is no necessity in having to differentiate between one another. It just, like, not only is it this is pretty. Like, not only is it overkill, but it's also, I just find it strange. Having already made an assumption on somebody based on absolutely nothing but their appearance, you know. And I feel like in this case, this should also be applied to, like, that should be mostly applied to men and women, where if you have somebody crying, and if it's a woman, you should treat them just like, if you see a man crying, you should treat them the same way you would treat a woman crying. You would support them just the same way. And you would react the same way, and you would talk to them the same way, and you would have like afterthoughts in the same way. What the hell? I just think that this is like true equality, or maybe equity at some point. I'm not sure. I mean, equity in that case would be, since you're already treating them equally. No, I'm not sure how to explain this, but since we already live in a system that scrutinizes the emotions of men, that the emotions that are deemed as lesser expressed by men, maybe there should be more support given into it, but I'm not fully sure about that. I just simply think that treating them as just as is should be enough. That's why I find it so bizarre. That sound is really annoying, by the way. Like, I don't know. Like, I think that it's like trying to help but doing damage in the process. Jesus Christ. And again, I don't think she had any bad intentions posting that, but it felt nearly tone deaf. I feel like people, if that was posted on Instagram, they would call her a pick-me, but that's just semantics. Like, that, it's absolutely useless to say stuff like that. It's like borderline bullying for no reason. Just assuming random shit on a person. It's like, just just Instagram comments, basically. Just Instagram comments. What else can you say? Oh, okay. What is that to say again? Yeah, I just simply feel like if you really wanna be feminist, and like I'm also talking about this because I keep getting like feminist stuff my um on my reels, which I agree with, but I don't necessarily want to see, because I want to see like bullshit on my reels and not stuff like this. It's stuff that I even agree with, you know, but it's just stuff that, how to explain this, just gets people to talking, and then it starts like stupid discourse about things that should be common sense, but you realize that people are really like pretty messed up in the head. I don't know, but I feel like if you really wanna be a feminist, which implies the equality between between men and women, it actually implies that it means equality between men and women, meaning that you shouldn't say weird shit like that. Like for starters, you shouldn't say weird shit like that, and you should acknowledge people for who they are and not what they are. So if I'm a man and I cry, I don't want you to react a special way simply because I'm a man crying. I'm a person crying. That could also extend race, because if I was like, so, because as a black man, if I cry, I feel like that would even have a different kind of perception, where people would, I don't know what people would assume, but it's like this, it's as if you have this, like, it's just based on this image of people seeing black people as like these, I don't know, like nearly emotionless people, not emotionless, but just like these brutes, and what the, I love how I always have the same reaction. Okay. Yeah, what can I say? Like, it's like, as a black person, we're like, by default, we're seen as like those brutes and those aggressive kind of people who like especially black men that show no type of emotion. When I mean emotion, I mean like quote unquote weak emotions. And the day that we do, it just seems like I feel like it's gonna make us seem like as if we're even more unconventional. So people have to treat us in an even more different way. Even though that's not how it should be. Treat. Oh, I thought that was the other Banner Gardens music. I love this theme so much. It does sound kind of pretty though. Just that it's pretty quiet. Is this a library? Can't read this. I'm not Japanese enough. Yeah, I just think that's. I wish people acted normal. Simple as. This is very normal to me. Okay. Simply acknowledging people for who they are. And the thing is, maybe you will act differently. Oh, I love this. This little hub actually. But I feel like there is I feel like once you know a person, and you see them cry, and you actually know them, you know how to manage a situation like this because you know what they need, no matter if they are like a man or a woman or whatever. Okay. Oh, that's right. But why was I able to click on it anyway? Okay. Um. Yeah. I mean, it's just that. Yeah. If you know a person and they cry and stuff, it's always expected that you um behave in the way that would comfort them enough, because you know what they need in a rough situation. That being said, no, I have nothing to say actually. But yeah, how do I say this? It's like I keep forgetting what I want to say. Um, but the thing is, even if you don't know them on a baseline, you still have like social etiquettes of how you should treat a person. Like, yeah, you have a social etiquette of how you should treat. Oh, is this a guide? Because I see like the dots at the right, but I'm not sure what that means. So I don't speak Japanese. So yeah, you have a social etiquette of what to do, which is like how you comfort them or what kind of questions you have to ask them, or you know, like the usual. I'm not good at it because I have horrendous social skills, but I feel like that's how it should be. Like that's how what I would expect on a. Oh my god! Don't tell me it's Jesus Christ. I feel like I've been here before, and I kind of remember this place. If this is really the place I'm thinking of, it's the place I'm thinking of. Fuck. And I hated it too. um, why is it so loud? Yeah, I just think, yeah, just treat people equally. And one thing that I also want to talk about is that, especially this video coming from a girl, it's still a developing belief. But honestly, if um, if I ever hear somebody say something like I like to watch men cry, or being in support of men crying, being like, oh yeah, please men cry for us, like I tend to see these kind of posts on social media, like on Instagram, where you have these girls who just sound kind of disingenuous. Maybe I'm biased, I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking overtly negatively, but when I hear stuff like that, I just can't really take it at face value. It's really as if there's something that feels off when I hear this. And because it's like, once like they say this, but once they actually see a man cry, they have this visceral reaction of complete reject that just hurts. Like, imagine you're already hurting about something. I don't care about the context. You could have hurt your thumb, or seen like somebody break their arm or some shit. I don't know. Something that really made you emotionally, like, yeah, that triggered you emotionally. Something that just simply triggered the emotion of sadness or whatever reaction. Whatever emotion that resulted to you crying. Water that came out of your eyes. Simple as. And for the white people, it's like they get red as well, and I don't know, like stupid face, I don't know. Like grimaces, I mean. Like, okay, imagine that, okay? So we have these people being like, yeah, yeah, I love watching men cry. Please, men, cry for us or something. You don't need to hide your emotions, and it's so healthy, this and that. And once it actually happens, it just feels like it's like they just reject it. And I'm talking out of, I don't even have an experience of this happening, so which is why I'm saying I'm biased, because I feel like this is just what I feel. Like, I don't trust people crying in front of me. It's probably maybe due to childhood or the way just our society in general perceives it. But I'm sorry, but I can't trust this. Especially when people say that you are allowed to cry. It's like I can feel something is off. There's something strange. And you can't just post a reel, like a story, like a video out of nowhere saying this and expecting people to actually fall for that shit. Okay, this happened. This happened again. I'm not even sure how to unlock these. Um. So instead, if I ever want to hear, this is pretty hypocritical in comparison to what I said like 10 minutes ago. But if I ever want to hear hear somebody say, yeah, please, men, cry for us, I want it to be from another man. Because not only does it feel even more real coming from somebody like on some bro to bro shit, but it gives more credentials to people at a disadvantage rising, giving power to other disadvantaged people. Because women don't get as much scrutiny for crying as men do. So when you have a man having the courage of saying, yeah, I allow myself to cry, I have no vulnerability, like I am not afraid of being vulnerable, which is already a pretty strong statement and feeling. But when they also say, hey, you can do that too, it feels even, what the fuck? It feels even more encouraging. Because it's like, you can now trust this person. You can trust this person because they do the thing that you are yearning to do. It inspires you. Rather than having somebody being already in the game of crying and then telling other people. It's like this thing that, this is something I don't necessarily believe in, but it's like this thing where people say that, yeah, talking to women is easy, all you have to do is XYZ. And then you have like the most handsome person saying that, or the most prettiest girl you've ever seen saying that. And the thing is, when it comes to relationships, yeah, you can talk to anybody. Like, I don't think that should stop you from anything. But but it just from these words come from that makes you think that who are you fucking kidding? But otherwise, I think you can look however you want and you can do whatever you want. So this whole, yeah, I have to be like pretty to get to a girl, otherwise it will seem like I'm harassing her, is nonsense. And it's bred out of pure insecurity, which is not a bad thing because we all have experienced things that made us more insecure about ourselves. But directly linking looks, like, yeah, lookism to relationships is such an easy way, like such an easy connection to make, but which is but is so untrue to me. And it's so easy disproven because you can go to, I don't know, you can walk down the street, you can see a couple where like the guy or the girl is like, I guess, way prettier than the other person. Doesn't mean that it utterly diminishes anything about the other person. you know. But I'm sidetracking again. But yeah, just to make this analogy between having somebody being in the crying game already telling you that it's okay, that it's cool and shit. And they do know that it is shunned upon men to cry, but it just feels. I just feel like I would believe a man more telling me that than a woman. And also, the reason why I said that it may come off as hypocritical is because earlier I said that if you see somebody crying, you shouldn't treat them. You shouldn't react to them crying based on who they are. And now I am. It's hypocritical because now I am basing. How do I say this? Like, what the fuck? Now I'm having. Hold on, let me sidetrack that. No, let me run it back. It's as if how do I say this? It's so tricky. Like earlier I said I don't trust women telling me that it's okay for me to cry, for men to cry in general. But now but although earlier I said that you shouldn't treat people based on how they, like, based on who they are, when, like, you shouldn't react to people a different way just because they are a different, like, they have a different kind of identity. Hence, like in this example, being men, you know, like, you reacting differently because they are men. Am I walking backwards, bro? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, just simply speaking, you shouldn't do that. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm calling out my hypocrisy. I'm calling out my hypocrisy. I'm saying you shouldn't do that. Okay. Damn it. I really don't know how to talk. I'm such a bad public speaker. I hope my interview is gonna go well. At the arts I'm trying to head to. Pun intended. What do I want to say again? But yeah, in a way it's kind of hypocritical. But in that case, it's more so you have this lived experience, kind of. No, not really. But just assumptions. No, not really, actually. Scratch that. It's to an extent hypocritical. I'm just not able to explain it correctly. Because I'm somewhat shunning people for making assumptions on appearances, and then I'm making an assumption based on the appearance, like the existence of somebody. I don't know, how do you say this? Based on based on what they are. Voila. This is pretty. Feels like some really old game, like OG Fantasy Star or something, like some RPG like a dungeon from an RPG. Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually intend to talk about this a long time, but you know how I sidetrack all the time, because I'm a yapper. But I hope one day this is something that gets brought to light. This weird kind of way of talking about people that do things that they don't. Talking about a group of people that doesn't do things very often, and treating them treating them in a certain way, talking about them in a certain way just because they don't do it. It's as if I'm seeing a woman in STEM and I start saying shit. I don't know what I would say, but I'd start saying, yeah, you don't see that very often or something. It's like, this is the same thing. It's essentially the same thing. I could say the same thing about a woman in STEM and saying or like yeah, in a construction, so actually putting work and stuff, and not being like in a management team and saying shit like yeah, this is like seeing a unicorn in the wild. Why would I say that? Like, you feel me? Like, why would I say that? And it's not often that you see it, granted, but why would I say that? This word is bizarre. It just comes off as I just don't know. I don't know how to explain how this comes off as, but it just makes things so uncomfortable. And in a context like racism, it's kind of different. Like I tried pulling out an example. Like for racism, it's like white people saying, "Yeah, you're one of the good ones." Even this one is way more extreme, of course. It's also racist as shit. Know that I just really thought about it. Um, but it maybe it's not exactly the same thing, but it just comes off as weird. It's nearly backhand. It's like a backhanded compliment, nearly. I don't have an exact thing or word or analogy to truly explain how hearing these kinds of things is like. Just treat me like a normal human being. Nothing has changed about me. Why do you have to why do you have to treat me this kind of way? Just because I cried and I happen to have a penis. And we can do better than that. I know we can. I know we can do better than that. And yeah, it's just strange, and I don't like that whatsoever. Isn't this where I came from? Power move. So yeah, equality, maybe even equity, is important. Honestly, I'm happy I had this instinct of knowing that something is weird about this, because that's not really how you talk about people. That's not really how you, I don't know, perceive how you react to people, how you perceive people. Simple as that, and it being a complete um for the complete group of people is also stranger. And yeah, there's worse things to worry about, but this is the kind of stuff where I'm thinking, yeah, shut that shit down, bro. Come on now. It's already hard enough for men to express their emotions in general. I wouldn't be comfortable really to express my emotions to anybody. It has happened rarely. The last few times I remembered I expressed my vulnerability to somebody, it was in one occasion it was forced, and one other occasion it kind of slipped up. But in one occasion it did help me, but it was very uncomfortable. I never want to do that again, and really I didn't really want to do it. And then another occasion it was kind of in a mutual sense, which felt, I don't know, I had a lot of stuff running through my mind. But yeah. Um, thing is, in the second occasion, it I was I was really vulnerable to the point I actually cried. But in the first one, I still had to hide it. This is the strangest world ever. But yeah. Um, so yeah, it's just kind of hard enough. So when you have these, like I promise, I don't think I have anything against her. It's just that even seeing a title like "I love watching men cry," it's like, bro, already using the vulnerability of people, this fucking fear of being vulnerable being used as like nearly like rage bait. It's already crazy enough, and hope, and even though it's a good thing it wasn't one of those corny, uh, dark energy, feminine, whatever kind of girls that are so adamant towards, like, so passionate over hating men that they try to make these movements of decentering men when all they do is talk about them. But you also have, but on the flip side, you just have this weird way of perceiving people. Yeah, there's more serious things to talk about. Like, um, you have things that women experience that I will probably never experience in my life. And one thing that comes to my mind is just being approached by weird ass dudes, or being insulted, or being like, I don't know, like 15, 16, and being called a slut by some fucking bum. See, some stuff will never happen to me, but it's essentially normalized. It feels like. It's like it's become a norm. And I'm saying this in an extreme way, but at the same time, it's still something that has yet to go away, one way or another. It's still present, and it's present because that's how people are enabled to talk about women like this, which is fucking crazy. So, um, so yeah, there's more serious stuff, but it doesn't change the fact that there are other things that should be addressed, especially when it genuinely makes somebody uncomfortable. Also brings me to another critique, but I want to make this one brief. It's this thing where you have this thing. It's mostly a social media thing. I'm thinking, and I hope it's not something that becomes like a thing that comes from social media and then gets into the real world, so people repeat it because they're like so so feminist and dark feminine energy type of bullshit. I don't know how to explain this, but there's this thing where I saw like a video of a guy who said that he had like I don't know, like an acid trip, or like he took some shrooms or some shit, and he came to the realization that women can be like he can essentially treat women the way he treats his homeboys, which implies that there's stuff like empathy like no, I don't think it was that, but simply having love for others and having empathy and stuff like that was pretty like base level stuff. I'm not sure how to say this, but it's just stuff that he realized, um and that he was very passionate about. It's like on some, bro, we all are connected basically on some shit. Um and this was posted, and this was especially with a tone in which he said it that was very, like, he was like at a very vulnerable state, and as he was saying this, he was being recorded, posted on Instagram, only to be ridiculed on the post itself and also in the comments. And it made me genuinely feel bad for him two times, because on one hand it just shows how fucked up the system is, in which it takes fucking mushrooms for people to realize stuff like this, and how it reflects that how this system, in this regard, the patriarchy, just utterly depraves us men from expressing emotions to the point where we are completely incapable of understanding them, and how we should react in certain situations when it comes to emotional, I don't know, like emotional regulation, control, support, and all that stuff. Because I struggle too. Because the thing is, when I see somebody not doing good, I'm not sure what to do. I, I'm not sure if asking if they're okay is actual help, or somebody has, I don't know, has a particular issue, and I'm just immediately thinking, yeah, that's probably a solution to this, or you can probably do this or that. Like that's probably something. Okay. Like there's probably something you can do which is pretty optimal to bring you out of that situation, thus making you probably happier. But that's not really how it works. But yeah, so this guy admits admits with full honesty and God knows whatever other emotions he felt that um he has learned these things and it blew his mind, and it was completely something very personal to him. Only and it just gets posted on Instagram to be ridiculed. You have these girls in the comments being like, "Yeah, I've already learned this when I was like 12, or like 8 years old, or since my childhood, or since I was 4. That I learned that everybody, like, I have to be nice to everybody, blah blah." Or the concept of empathy, I've already learned this, XYZ, and I'm like, that's kind of messed up, the kid, because hearing this, you think, oh yeah, this is pretty fucked. That this is so insane. Like to them, I would feel like what's a norm to them is like unfathomable to a man. To which you would probably have the reaction of like, yo, this is actually insane. Like there's something wrong there. This is beyond just him, because this is something that probably, like, if it took him to take mushrooms to learn these things, then God knows what kind of state the other guys are at, you know. And instead of thinking that and making the connection with the system that they constantly critique and um, talk negatively about, they say, um, yeah, they just diminish it and they ridicule him. They see him as like incapable of anything and all that really demeaning and lame ass stuff. And it's ironic because they say that, this shit like empathy, I've already learned that when I was like in second grade, or when I don't know, when I played with my dolls and I learned that XYZ blah blah, which are not only kinda okay. This um probably low key pushing it, but this kind of implies as well that empathy isn't learned but inherent. Well, no, it's inherent but can be learned. Because it's like they say this as if being a woman and uh, learning these things at a young age is just I'm probably really pushing it, but I don't know. It's like it's also because it comes with this kind of snobby and lame, corny superiority complex where they just don't have the need to bash other people for not having that. Um, so it's as if it's like they, yeah, I don't know. It's just bizarre. Maybe it's not like this whole inherent like gaining empathy inherently, but it's just simply just it's just a weird way to talk about it. And also completely devoid of empathy too. Because how are you gonna say that you are such an empathetic person and you have learned that you're such a nice and incredible person, and you end up diminishing the diminishing another person for learning about empathy at a later age? Because that also means that they actually want good for others. So why would they, like, so what's the point of, they want good for others, they actually want to care for others, so why would you ridicule them in that in that case? Well, what's the point of hating on them now? They do exactly that you do, supposedly. So what's the point? Um, and yeah, just this pure irony is that they say that they have all this empathy, and then go on to bash another person for having that. And it's like, bro, are you hearing yourself? And it truly comes from the absolute worst. Oh fuck, I'm not trusting that. It truly comes from the worst people. And again, it's like a whole social media thing, but I just think it's fucking crazy and so incredibly tone deaf. Like sometimes I can't believe that they legit say that shit, and I think they don't think twice about what they just said. And I remember there were so little people who genuinely defended that, and nobody ever clocked that it's so hypocritical and stupid to even have this kind of mindset, like to even ridicule somebody for that, and then think that they have empathy for others. Come on, like they can do better. I don't know. My goodness. Oh, I've been here. So yeah, I don't know. I just dislike that. Very hypocritical. God, I feel tired playing this game all the time. I don't know why. I'm not sure why. It's not the most stimulating game, to be honest, because all you do is just walk around, but it is interesting how it truly can tire you out. Hold on. One other weak ass, lame ass comeback that you also hear these chronically online girls hear is the shit where you have guys being like, yo, I'm suffering because of XYZ. Oh no, yeah, I don't know. Like I'm suffering because of XYZ, which is inherently connected to my sex. And then you have the girls being like, oh, but who set that system up? I'm like, what do you mean who set that system up? I'm not sure how to explain this, but it's this thing that they say where you have men you have men like suffering because of, I don't have an example right now, but it's just this lame comeback of being like, yeah, your suffering is self-inflicted, which in some cases is true, especially with this fucking male loneliness epidemic bullshit where people aren't even lonely, they are lonely, but because they are just horrible people, like horrible, miserable people that nobody wants to be like nobody wants to be around them. And they use their frustrations and bitterness and somehow blame it on the fault of women. That's why I take issue of this term and of the people applying this term. And I just find it stupid. Simple as, I just find it stupid. That being said, I want to say something else. Yeah, this whole this whole who set that system up shit is like, what the fuck? I'm hearing this. This has to be like rage bait, but I'm hearing this and I'm thinking like, what the hell? are you trying to say? You're telling me being inherently a man, because of me being born a man, being inherently a man, being brought, being brought in this world as a man, not by anybody's choice, by anybody's choice, and being inherently man makes me complicit of a fucked up system that not only destroys you as a woman, but also me in the process. Like, you're useless, right? Is this Shibuya? This is not Shibuya, I'm racist, okay. This looks dope, though. Oh, okay. But yeah, it's just a lame comeback. It's just one of the absolute worst comebacks that make absolutely zero sense. And you just can't argue with these people just simply because of how chronically online they are. No point in, like, there is 0 point. And that is getting tired. It's actually crazy. So yeah, this whole set that system up shit, especially when it's being addressed to a black man. I'm like, who do you think set that system up? Because it's certainly not a black man who set that system up. Sure, he can perpetuate it, but that system is not made from like some random black person. Like, that not only does it not stem from a random black dude that lives in the 2020s, but it's also not a system that stems from a black person from, like, I don't know, the 1600s or the 1800s or something. Inherently, like no, that's just not possible. Rich or broke. Most of them couldn't even be rich. They were all slaves. So this is just bullshit. And I will also say to them, I was about to say, like, no, this was probably like your white grandfather, but even that probability would be wrong. And maybe he perpetuated it, but he didn't set it up. So it's not necessarily, like, I'm not sure how to say this, but it's pretty much just the higher ups, the elites, who know how the system works in order to exploit the other classes, social classes. Ooh, nice. Like, it's somebody who's like, they said, oh, why am I slower now? Fuck it. Tic tac toe. Yeah, just this whole who set that system up stuff. It's just, let it, stop it. Just stop it. Please stop it. It's kind of embarrassing. There's better things to argue back with. There's probably something else I want to talk about, but since I'm so tired, I probably utterly forgot it and will only think about it like a good while later. But yeah, and this was all about the guy hitting shrooms. Again, I spent a lot of time talking about this, but shit, that's how it is. Amayapa. Who set that system up? Nigga, suck my Suck my dick, bro. How about that? Like I asked to live in a system that could fucking ruin me just because I shed water out of my eyes. Like what? As if I chose that. Who set the system up? Obviously they say it's men. So yeah, no. What kind of men? I don't have the money. I don't have the status, power, or the money to even fathom an idea to even establish something like this. And certainly not even in a time period, neither. Everything's already screwed in the 2020s. There isn't really a way to go back. No, this is nihilistic to say, but there's like, it's not as bad as people think. No, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm getting tired. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Oh, okay. Oh, this is high as hell. Also, this is really slow. That's still the bike, but I will refrain from using it, if I'm being honest. Oh man. Useless misogyny. Useless quote misandry. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Please be happy, bro. Please have some love for others. It's crazy. People really go like, yeah, women are so empathetic. Like women go like, women are so empathetic as a gender or whatever. Girl's girl and oh fuck, it's utterly dark. I actually can't see anything. Can I go back? I can't go back. Oh, I saw something. I see the door. I'm not sure if I should go further, but I there's a wall or something. Is that a lamp? Do I need like a fire effect or something? Yeah, maybe I'll just pinch my cheek. Yeah, I don't feel like playing all that long anyway. My playthroughs have been kind of whack lately. It's kind of disappointing, if I'm being honest. But it's okay. Nice. Why is there no sound effect again anymore? Kind of disappointing. I like these a lot. Also, why is it so slow? Yeah. Just logging another. That's how it should be, I think. Any love. Love is important. Something we shouldn't forget. So pretty. Fuck. I'm making a storyboard right now. I think I'm just gonna yap for a bit. Then I'll end stream, go hang my laundry, and I don't know, take a nap or something. But it's actually another thing I wanted to address. I've been drawing again. I've been making a storyboard for an animation. And the thing is, I'm actually having a blast. I'm really enjoying it because I can actually think about what to implement into the animation. Conceptually speaking. And it's really great. I'm not really complaining about having to make an animation. But I just have the feeling that it's such a lonely thing to do, because I've been on this animation. I've been writing about it since like I don't know, Monday. I'm not sure. I forgot. What was Monday again? Yeah, it must have been Monday. But I've been writing about it for a good bit now. And yesterday, I was at a point where I finished a scene, like I dissected the storyboard of multiple scenes, and I got to a point where I was just I felt the days melting together again, because I haven't been outside since Sunday, Easter Sunday. I remember, yeah. I haven't been out since Easter Sunday. Um, so I spent like the whole week simply working on this animation, writing the screenplay, and just doing other miscellaneous stuff. And um, yesterday, I got done, and the day felt really short, but only because I kept working on this animation and doing like other stuff at the same time. And when it was finally a bit late, I went back to I just wanted to go back to bed. I had my phone in my hand, and it's so wild. I hadn't realized what day of the week it was, and thinking it was like Wednesday. I was kind of chilling. I thought that it was like Wednesday, because it's just what I kept thinking the whole time. I checked my phone, and it says it's Friday, and it was yesterday. And I had to pause for a bit, and I thought, this is fucking crazy. I said, like, I just thought to myself, no actual way. It is not Friday right now. That it's not possible. So when I'm going to sleep and I wake up in the morning, it's gonna be Saturday. And I couldn't comprehend it because of how locked I was into this animation, which you could argue, like some people would probably argue, yo, this is actually a good thing, except that not really, is it? And when I made this realization, I realized, when I made this realization, I just had like a wave of depression hit me that evening. I didn't know what to think. It's like I felt nothing fulfilling. The only fulfillment I felt was when I was playing what am I talking about? I'm getting really tired. Yeah, when I was drawing, this is when I was having a fulfill. Like I felt fulfilled. I let it go. Did something else. Or simply wanted to go to bed. And seeing this, I'm thinking, holy shit. Like I skipped 2 days, thinking it was like Wednesday or maybe Thursday, and it was fucking Friday. It hit me like it really truly hit me with a wave of depression, and I felt like purposeless as I was trying to get myself to sleep. Yeah, I don't know. It's like making art, animations, painting, sculpting, something, just creating. It's like the most loneliest thing ever. I mean, once you post it, you can finally have people giving you feedback and maybe set your I don't know, like I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like having to getting tired. I'm really getting tired. Damn it. Making art just feels lonely, and it kind of confirmed my theory on how I used drawing in general, creating things in general, as a local business practice that Leon would always kind of run away from. The thing that filled my void was really just me hanging with people and making friends. It's like, it depended on, how do I say this? Yeah, it depended on, no, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay, let it go, because I'm about to fall asleep. I still love this theme. That's pretty. However, oh, I need to save. An hour. Enough ranting. I just want to sleep. Yeah, blah blah, see you. goodness. We fell asleep. Wow.